Hey guys, I'm Thomas Lang. I'm very happy to be here and be your teacher. It's a real pleasure for me to take part in this and be in such good company with all the other great teachers. I am originally from Austria. I was born in Vienna. I started playing at the age of 5. At the same time I started playing the drums, my mother insisted that I should learn a real instrument too. So I learned piano at the same time, and then later also I learned bass and guitar. And I use a lot of the other instruments today to write and produce a lot of music. But drums were always my main instrument and my main inspiration. My first inspirations were equally Buddy Rich and Ringo Starr pretty much. I really liked the fact that they both had the same kind of setup of like a 4-piece setup, but they played so differently. Buddy was really flamboyant and technical, and the big drum virtuoso and band leader, and very technical. And Ringo was very song-friendly and humble, but very musical. And Ringo was the big commercial superstar, and Buddy was the real sort of a ninja-type drummer. So I really drew a lot of inspiration from both those guys, and I think in my playing, this is reflected equally also, that I like to play very technical, but I also like to keep things very simple and approachable for a non-musician audience. And it's very important to me. I had a teacher from the first moment I played drums, and he was a classical percussionist from Vienna. And Vienna, as you all know, is sort of the mecca of classical music. So I grew up around classical music and with a classical teacher, but I was always more interested in jazz and rock drum set playing. So after a few years with my first teacher, who was a classical percussionist, I started visiting other teachers who were more specialized in drum set playing, and eventually ended up at the Conservatory of Music in Vienna and at the Music Academy in Vienna, and studied drums there, both jazz and classical, but I really focused on jazz, big band playing, combo, trio, quartet, quintet playing, and I really sort of dug deep into the whole jazz history and big band playing, etc. After school, I was very lucky to start working immediately, pretty much, with bands from Austria, and I started touring basically straight out of high school. As soon as I was done and finished with school, I went on the road and I toured with national artists from Austria and also international artists, Italian artists, people who live sort of in Central Europe, artists who tour in Central Europe. And one of my buddies, of course, Falco, who ended up, he's Austrian, but he had huge hits all over the world, including a big song called Rock Me Amadeus and Der Kommissar, amongst others. So working with him took me out of the country a lot more and allowed me to tour internationally and eventually also globally, because I moved to England and started working in the British pop scene, which is a very international scene. I worked with John Wetton and the band Asia, various of John Wetton's projects. He was the lead singer in UK and King Crimson and so on. And so through him, I met a lot of really interesting people in London from the progressive scene, like Robert Fripp, Steve Hackett, and people like that I also played with. And then I worked my way through the British sort of pop and rock and progressive scene for about 15 years. I lived in London and I worked with a lot of different acts there, very high profile pop acts, anything from real cheesy bubblegum stuff to more credible pop acts from like the Spice Girls and Robbie Williams and Kylie Minogue, Westlife and Boyzone and Ronan Keating and 911 and whatever manufactured bands to, real credible pop like Annie Lennox, George Michael or Tina Turner, Rod Stewart and so on. So I did a lot of recording work there, a lot of session work and touring also with a lot of different bands, and then moved to the US. That coincided with me changing my approach to playing a little bit, and also it coincided with me changing my taste in music and my taste in gigs that I was doing. I stopped playing real poppy stuff and focused more on music I really enjoyed playing and producing and writing more music. I've always produced and written music from the very beginning. In fact, I wrote and produced also with Falco and co-produced and wrote songs for him and with him, and also for many other artists, and also for myself. I recorded a bunch of solo records and released them over the years. Anyways, my leaving the UK for California changed also the style of music I played. I went through a different phase. I changed my setups, my grip, and everything else. and my taste in music changed slightly, and I wanted to play music that's a little more challenging drum-wise and a little more fun to play. So I started writing and producing a lot more music myself, and started a record label and a marketing company, and created sort of an infrastructure for myself that allowed me to do what I want to do musically more. I stopped touring less with pop acts because a lot of those tours are very long, and I didn't want to be on the road that much anymore because of my family and kids. I focused more on writing, producing, and doing specific drum stuff. Everything from hosting drum camps, to performing at drum festivals, to having an online drum school, to hosting my very award-winning and successful over the years drumming boot camps, etc. So I worked into the educational scene a little more. I released a bunch of DVDs and also books with Hudson Music and Hal Leonard, some of which were very successful. You can find all the material on Hudson Music or at Hal Leonard or through my website, www.thomaslangdrummer.com. You can find out more about my camps at www.thomaslangdrumcamp.com, or about my California-based drum festival, which is called the Big Drum Bonanza, at www.bigdrumbonanza.com. You can go to my online shop and check out all my DVDs and books, which is www.muso-mart.com. And on my website you can see my detailed biography. You can find out what kind of equipment I'm playing, what setups I'm playing, etc. That's all available for you online. After I moved to California, I founded a band with a good friend of mine named Stork, and you will be playing some Stork songs here at isYOURteacher. And I am producing and writing for various other projects, many other people, and I'm doing a lot of sessions from my studios in Los Angeles. I do a lot of recording work all over the world, and I still tour all over the world with people from every genre of music. I do a lot of jazz still, a lot of fusion music. I play a lot of real heavy music, progressive music, but also pop, rock, mainstream stuff. So I'm really at home in all styles of music, and also enjoy writing and producing a lot of music. Some of the projects I'm involved with at the moment are, for example, Spark 7, which is a Japanese band. You will be playing also some Spark 7 songs here, or another project of mine called Humaflex. You can find out all about these things online. I hope you enjoy my lessons here. I try to give you a good foundation and a good basic idea of what you can do technically on the drums, how you should begin practicing, what you should be practicing. I'll try to give you a bit of an insight in how to apply your rudimental techniques and your basic sort of stickings and combinations on the whole drum set, and get creative with it. I think one of the most important things is that you guys start thinking creatively from the get-go, from the first moment you sit down behind the drum set. Try not to sound like everybody else. Of course, it's important to take things, copy things, like here, for example. It's important that you learn these parts that I show you very, very precisely and accurately, but then try to interpret them in your own ways, add a little bit of your own flavor and flair and spice, and try to always impart your own personality and style into the music that you play. Enjoy.